Did you know if you're moving to Clearwater with kids, the beach neighborhoods will cost you $200,000 more on average and put your kids in worse schools? So here are 6 neighborhoods families and retirees actually choose and 3 mistakes that cost people 6 figures when they make the wrong choice. If we've never met before, my name is Juan, Alcalá, and almost 7 years ago now, my wife Kate and I left Michigan for Tampa Bay with 2 goals in mind: better weather and more living. Since then, I've helped almost 200 families navigate the same relocation journey. Most come here chasing the beach postcard, but the ones who thrive, they focus on the right neighborhoods and the right community first. So today I'm breaking down the 6 best neighborhoods in Clearwater for families and retirees because, let's be honest, a lot of grandparents tend to follow the young kids who prioritize schools, safety, and lifestyle over the tourist trap. And if you stick around, I'll show you the 3 red flags that tell you you're in the wrong area before you make an offer on a home. So I'd love to start this video off with what I'm calling the Clearwater Trap. And here's what most people get wrong about Clearwater. They Google Clearwater real estate. They see the beach walk condos, they see Sand Key, they see Clearwater Beach, and they think that is what living in Clearwater means. But here's the reality. The families who thrive here don't live on the beach. Neither do the retirees that make it past year 3. Why? Well, there's 3 specific reasons. The first one is beach neighborhoods cost 40 to 60% more per square foot. You're paying for tourist proximity, not better schools or safety. 2 is traffic. The Clearwater Causeway backs up every weekend from March until August. Your 10-minute beach run becomes 45 minutes in season. That means when people are down here hanging out, the snowbirds fly south. And number 3 are the schools. The best rated schools in Clearwater aren't near the beach. They're tucked into neighborhoods most people never research. The best neighborhoods in Clearwater give you the beach access in 10 to 15 minutes with better schools, lower home prices, and safer streets. So let me show you where some of those neighborhoods are. So we're gonna start in reverse today. I'm gonna start with Countryside. This community offers space with schools without crazy home prices. And if you want a 4-bedroom home with a pool, top tier schools, and access to everything without paying $800,000 plus, Countryside is where Clearwater families end up landing. And here's what you can get. Single family homes on 8 to 12,000 square foot lots, which is actually pretty good sized here in Pinellas County. Most built from the 1980s to the 2000s, 4 bedrooms, 2-car garages. Many have pools, and the price ranges are anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 on average at the time of this recording. And this is a school-focused neighborhood in Clearwater. You've got McMillan Booth Elementary, which ranks an 8 out of 10, Oak Grove Middle School, which is a 7 out of 10, and Countryside High School, which is also a 7 out of 10. If you know anything about Pinellas County schools, you know that this is higher on the list for public schools. And if schools are your top priority, like most parents, and you don't want to pay for private school tuition, this is a great neighborhood to investigate. The crime rate is well below Clearwater's average. This is a quiet, family-oriented neighborhood. The streets are wide, sidewalks are standard, and kids bike here. You can find little kids playing all over the place. You're 2 minutes from Countryside Mall, Target, Publix, and every chain restaurant you could ever imagine. You're 5 minutes to the Ream Wilson Trail for the morning walks and bike rides, 10 minutes to Clearwater Beach, but you don't have to deal with beach traffic daily. And on the weekend, you're gonna end up taking the kids to soccer games at DiMaggio Sports Complex, afternoon at the pool. You can have dinner at Noble Crust or at Clear Sky Cafe, which are great restaurants. And the question becomes, who thrives here? Well, that's gonna be families with elementary, middle school kids who prioritize school ratings, move up home buyers coming from townhomes or smaller houses, parents who want suburban ease with the beach lifestyle. Now, what are the trade-offs? Because every neighborhood has something, right? Well, this is suburban Florida. You're not walking to coffee or to downtown, you're driving everywhere. But if you have kids in school and you want space, this is the safest bet in Clearwater. And oh, by the way, it's just a few minutes away from the only Costco in the county, by the way. Huge win for the family if that's important to you like it is to us. So what do you need to watch out for? Well, some homes are 30 to 40 years old. They're gonna have HVAC systems, roof, and plumbing that might need replacing. So make sure you get a thorough inspection if you're considering purchasing one of these homes. Number 5 on the list is going to be Feather Sound Bardmoor area. If you want the best rated schools in the greater Clearwater area without breaking the $500,000 mark, Feather Sound Bardmoor is on the move, so make sure you're checking this out. You can get single family homes and townhomes in planned communities, most built in the 90s to 2010s, HOA maintained landscaping, community pools, and tennis courts if those things are important to you. Right now, home prices are ranging from about $350,000 to $550,000. And when it comes to schools, here's why families really love this area. Bardmoor Elementary is a 9 out of 10, one of the highest rated elementaries in Pinellas County. Bay Point Middle School is an 8 out of 10, and Seminole High School is a 7 out of 10. If your kids are in elementary school and you want a 9 out of 10 rated school, this is your best bet under $500,000. And when it comes to safety, statistically, this area is very safe. Gated sections, low crime. HOAs means that lawns stay maintained and cars don't park on the streets, if you know what I mean. And when it comes to lifestyle, you're on the Clearwater-Largo border. Technically Largo for some addresses, but most people consider it part of the greater Clearwater area. You're 5 minutes to Feather Sound Country Club, which is a public golf course, 10 minutes to Clearwater Beach, 15 minutes to St. Pete Beach Clearwater Airport. You're also close to Park Boulevard, Publix, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, and all the basics that you're gonna need. And that weekend rhythm is gonna be something like morning at the community pool, afternoon at Sand Key Park, and dinner at Frenchie's or Guppy's in Indian Rocks Beach. So who's thriving here right now? Well, young families who prioritize schools and affordability. You've got first-time homebuyers upgrading from apartments, retirees who want low-maintenance living with HOA services. So what are some of those trade-offs? You know, this is the most planned community feel on the list. HOA fees run anywhere from $200 to $400 a month, and the rules are enforced. If you want character or custom homes, this isn't gonna be for you, but if you want turnkey suburban family living with good schools, it's perfect. So what to watch out for? Some sections are technically Largo addresses. If Clearwater on your address matters, make sure you check before you buy. Also, HOAs can vary by the section in the neighborhood. You know, make sure you ask what's included. Some of these have incredible amenities and some cover lawn care, some don't. Keep your eye on that. Now, before we jump into number 4, let me address a question that I get almost every week. Juan, should I buy the cheapest house in the best school zone? Now, I understand that everyone's looking for a good deal, but I don't necessarily think that's always the best option. I think most people are actually looking for the best value. And if a neighborhood doesn't support your daily lifestyle, the commute, walkability, access, and what you actually want to do day to day, you'll burn out in like 18 months and wish you would not have made that mistake. Now, we've seen lots of people over the last 5 years move to the area, and not our clients, thank goodness, but you know, they would overpay for areas like Dunedin addresses and realize that they're 45 minutes to the office and regret it. Or retirees buy in areas like Tarpon Springs and feel isolated because it wasn't really as walkable as they thought it was going to be. Because the best neighborhoods aren't only the ones with the highest school ratings, they're also the ones where you feel like you're part of the community and life works. And if you are considering moving to the area and you have more questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me and my team. All of my contact information is listed down below. There's even a link to my calendar so you can schedule a time that's most convenient for you, get all your questions answered. Now, let's talk about the neighborhoods where lifestyle and location align. Number 4 on my list here is gonna be Coachman Ridge. Now, this offers space, privacy, pools, and parks, you know, and if your version of Florida includes a pool in the backyard, a 3-car garage, and streets that stay quiet year-round, Coachman Ridge delivers that. And here's what you get: larger single-family homes on 10 to 12,000 square foot lots. These are big lots for Pinellas County. 4 bedrooms, 3-car garages, most homes have pools, and the price ranges are anywhere from the $450,000 to $650,000 at the time of this recording for actual sales. I know they can go for more and they can ask for more as well, but I want to give you guys the actual data there. And when it comes to schools, you're zoned for Countryside High School, which is a 7 out of 10. Elementary and middle school options include McMillan Booth, which is an 8 out of 10, and Oak Grove Middle School, which is a 7 out of 10. And if schools really matter to you and you want more space than Countryside, this is your move up neighborhood. And the stats say this is one of the safest neighborhoods in Clearwater. Low crime, quiet streets, garage doors stay open, kids play outside until the street lights come on. And the lifestyle? Well, you're only 2 minutes from Ream Wilson Trail, which is 5.2 miles of paved multi-use trail, perfect for morning walks and bike rides. If your kids play baseball, softball, or lacrosse, you'll spend a lot of time here. You're only 5 minutes to Countryside Mall, but your streets feel private. So who thrives here? Well, families upgrading from townhomes and smaller homes, retirees who want a pool, a garage for the golf cart, and neighbors who actually wave back, and remote professionals who need a real home office. So what are those trade-offs? Pros and cons to everything, right? Well, you're 20 minutes from Clearwater Beach, 25 minutes from downtown. This is suburban Florida, not walkable urban core, but that's not for everybody, right? So you know what you're getting into. Now, what are some of the things we need to watch out for? Well, there are HOA fees, but they're fairly low, $200 to $400 a year. But pool maintenance isn't optional in Florida, so make sure you're budgeting $1,200 to $2,000 a year. If you do it yourself, I've heard people manage a pool for as low as $300 or $400 a year. If you're gonna pay someone, we have someone who's taken care of our pool since the day when we moved here. I pay $100 a month, and it's been that way the entire 7 years we've been here. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective on what it actually cost. Number 3 is gonna be Old Clearwater Bay. Now these are homes with character that meets coastal lifestyle. If you're not into those cookie cutter subdivisions and you want a neighborhood with personality where every home has a story, Old Clearwater Bay is a hidden gem. This neighborhood has elevated ranches, mid-century ranches, and a lot of fill in between from the 1950s to 2020, as a matter of fact. The lots vary in size. Some are waterfront, some are water view, and all of them tend to have character. The prices range anywhere from $400,000 to $700,000 at the time of this recording, depending on water access and updates, of course, so make sure you're looking at all the prices. When it comes to schools, you're zoned for Clearwater High School, which is a 6 out of 10, not the best. Elementary and middle schools vary. Most are 6 or 7 out of 10. We tend to see a lot more retirees here, but if you're focused on lifestyle and maybe you homeschool or you're planning on putting your children in either charter schools or a private school, then this is a great neighborhood to really investigate. It's not elite, but it ranks high on the safety and community focused areas. And speaking of those family and charter options, you've got Shorecrest Preparatory and Northside Christian if private is your priority. Now the crime rate here is average for Clearwater, but it is a tight-knit neighborhood. People know each other, block parties happen, they're looking out for each other, so keep that in mind. And I hope you guys realize I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can. I never want to put somebody in a situation that doesn't make sense for them, but when it comes to lifestyle, this is where old Florida meets new Florida, and a lot of people love these types of neighborhoods. You're 5 minutes to downtown Clearwater, you've got restaurants, breweries, imagine Clearwater concerts, the Big Hair Sound, all this stuff's incredible. You're 10 minutes to Dunedin, walkable coffee, craft beer, mom and pop shops. It's a great area. And you're literally only moments away from Edgewater Drive, the most underrated sunset walk in Tampa Bay, in my opinion. And when it comes to the weekend, you're gonna do things like coffee at Sea Salt in Dunedin, afternoon kayaking in the bay, sunset walk with the dog, dinner at Clear Sky, or Island Way Grill. I mean, this is a fantastic area. And the people who tend to thrive here are retirees who want character, walkability, and coastal access without those beach prices, empty nesters downsizing who want proximity to culture, and families who prioritize neighborhood vibe over the school ratings. And what are some of the trade-offs? Well, some of these homes need serious updating. These homes are 50 to 70 years old, so make sure you get a thorough inspection. Budget for things like HVAC or roof and the plumbing if you're not able to negotiate those things. But if you're handy or working with a great contractor, you can build serious equity in a neighborhood like this. Now, what are some of the things you need to watch out for? Well, as we get closer to the coast, you're gonna look at flood zones. Some homes require flood insurance in this area. And to be honest with you guys, if you followed my journey, I recommend having flood insurance on every home in Florida. Remember y'all, Florida used to be a swamp. I know we're taking over things, but the reality is this area is flat and we are really close to the coast. So just consider everyone being at risk. The policies will be very inexpensive if you are not required to carry them, but if you are required to carry them, your homeowner's insurance can definitely start to escalate pretty quickly, so keep that in mind. And make sure you ask about these things before you make any offers on any home in Florida, period. And before we jump into 2, let me pause and talk about those 3 mistakes I see families and retirees make when choosing neighborhoods in Clearwater and Tampa Bay. Mistake number 1 is they buy for a school rating alone. I've watched families overpay $100,000 for a 9 out of 10 elementary school, then realize the commute is 90 minutes round trip for work, and then there's no sense of community. School ratings matter, but only if your life works in that home. Number 2, underestimating Florida traffic. Living 5 miles from the beach sounds great until you realize the Clearwater Causeway backs up 45 minutes every Saturday from March to August. Proximity doesn't equal accessibility, so make sure you really think about that. And number 3, ignoring retiree infrastructure. If you're retiring here, ask these questions. Where's the hospital? Where's the grocery store? Can I walk to coffee? Is there a Y in the area or a rec center in my community specifically? And let's be real, y'all. Clearwater Beach looks amazing in photos, but it's not great when you need urgent care at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. Now let's get into the top 2 neighborhoods in Clearwater and why one of them is primed to explode with growth over the next few years. So let's talk about the neighborhood that no one's talking about yet. If you want to buy into a great community before it hits the real estate blogs, the Bluff District is your chance. Tucked between downtown Clearwater and the Causeway, this elevated neighborhood overlooks the bay, and it's at ground zero for the biggest redevelopment in Clearwater's history. Historic Harbor Oaks, Mediterranean Revival and Craftsman bungalows from the 1920s to the 1940s, lots of charm, renovation potential. The Bluffs has newer custom homes and luxury townhomes built in the 2000s to 2010s. Think modern, elevated, and water views. Prices range anywhere from $500,000 to $1.2 million, depending on the condition and the views, of course. Schools, it's zoned for Clearwater High School, 6 out of 10. It's not school focused, but you're 15 minutes from Shorecrest or Clearwater Central Catholic, if that is important to you. So again, this is one of those areas that parents will probably take advantage of charter and private school options. And again, statistically speaking, it's one of the safest neighborhoods in Clearwater. Elevated, gated sections, low crime, walking distance to downtown, but tucked away. And when it comes to lifestyle, this is why this neighborhood is taking off. Imagine Clearwater is a $64 million waterfront redevelopment happening right now. It's got the Baycare Amphitheater, which we just saw Tedeschi Trucks Band there. It was an amazing concert. You watch the sunset behind it. The band sound incredible. It's an intimate venue. There are walking paths, restaurants, markets, and kayak launches right there. You're getting that walkability and coastal lifestyle that didn't exist in Clearwater 5 years ago. And when it comes to the weekends, you're gonna look at morning coffee at Lenny's on Cleveland Street. You're gonna walk the Bluff Trail at sunset, outdoor concert at Coachman Park, and dinner at Clear Sky. So empty nesters who want walkability, culture, and upside are thriving here, retirees who want downtown proximity without condo living, and investors who see where this thing is gonna go over the next 10 years. And when it comes to those trade-offs, some historic homes are gonna need major work. We're talking $150,000 to $300,000 in renovations, so make sure you go in with your eyes wide open. But if you buy right now, this is where you're most likely to see the highest appreciation in Clearwater over the next 5 to 10 years. What are some main things we need to watch out for? Well, some of these homes are on the National Historic Registry. Renovation restrictions apply. Make sure you ask your real estate agent before you get involved in that. Some of those projects are very challenging and difficult. Some of them are incredibly worth it, but you gotta be patient. So my number 1 community, drum roll please, in Clearwater is Island Estates. This is the crown jewel, waterfront living without tourist chaos, which I know a lot of people really want. If your version of Florida involves a boat in the backyard, deep water access, and 5-minute runs to the Gulf while still living in an actual neighborhood, Island Estates is gonna be the best of both worlds. You're gonna get single family homes in deep water canals with private docks. Most homes are somewhere in the range of 2,500 to 4,000 square feet, Mediterranean, contemporary, and coastal modern styles. Prices currently are ranging from $800,000 to $2.5 million, depending on water frontage. Now this community is not school focused. It's zoned for Clearwater High School, which again is a 6 out of 10. Most families who live here send their kids to Shorecrest Prep or Clearwater Central Catholic School. Statistically speaking, this is one of the safest neighborhoods in Pinellas County. There's gated section, private streets. This is where Clearwater's executives and business owners tend to live. Think of this as the Gulf Coast lifestyle you imagine without living on the beach. You're on the Intracoastal Waterway, you have a dock, your boat is only 10 minutes from the Gulf, but your street is super quiet. You have a Publix grocery store, coffee, and restaurants right on the island. You're 5 minutes to Clearwater Beach, but you don't live in it. And on those weekends, head over to Island Estates Coffee. You're gonna boat to Caladesi Island, lunch at Frenchie's Outpost, and you're gonna be home by 3 p.m. Grill at the pool and sunsets from your dock, this is really an incredible lifestyle. And when it comes to thriving here, you're gonna see retirees who want water lifestyle without beachfront maintenance, executives who need quick airport access, you're only 20 minutes away from Pie, which is Clearwater St. Pete, and boating families who want deep water access all year round. The trade-offs here are really about the price point. Not everybody can afford to live in communities like this, but those who do tend to really thrive here. What are some of the things you need to watch out for here? Well, flood insurance is gonna be mandatory. And I don't wanna give you a quote, but let's just say that it can range anywhere from $2,000 plus just for the policy. Flood, I'm not talking about homeowners insurance. I'm talking about just the flood policy. So make sure you're doing your homework on that. There's gonna be hurricane prep here involved, shutters, securing docks, making sure you've got a plan for your boat. But if you've really dreamed of living on the water in Florida, this is where that dream is going to work. Now here's what most people miss when they move to Clearwater. They think it's about proximity to the beach, but the families who thrive here, the retirees who make it 10 plus years, they've picked a neighborhood that matches their ideal lifestyle. So to recap the 6 best neighborhoods in Clearwater for families and retirees, we're looking at Countryside for schools and space, Feather Sound Bardmoor for best schools and affordability, Coachman Ridge for space, pools, and privacy, Old Clearwater Bay for character plus coastal life, Bluff District for a walkable town and upside, and then Island Estates for that waterfront living. It is an incredible area. Make sure you're doing your homework on this. And if you're relocating to the Clearwater area or anywhere else in Tampa Bay, let's talk. All of my contact information is listed down below. There's even a link to my calendar so you can schedule a time that is most convenient for you. We'll jump on Zoom together. I'll open the maps. We'll talk about these communities and really make sure you get all your questions answered. YouTube is going to put 2 more videos up here to help you along this journey. And as always, until next time, go out and live that Tampa life.